summer breeze, gently at first like the wind through the trees. Slowly it moves you until you can see that it starts in your very own heart. The feeling you want is more near than you know. It's not to be found in the places you go. It only resides in the depths of your soul, and it starts in your very own heart. Now what is most real is what you can feel. What makes it start is an opening heart. It starts to move in as you feel your heartbeat, and opens a door to a world eyes can't see. It brings you back home where we all long to be, and it starts in your very own heart. An opening heart. It starts to move in as you feel your heartbeat, and opens a door to a world eyes can't see. It brings you back home where we all long to be, and it starts in your very own heart. In your very own heart. My good is my God is my good. All the good there is belongs to me. My good is my God is my good. All the good I seek belongs to me. That's my truth with a capital T. It's all about living free. My good is my God. My good is my God. I have all I ever need. My good is my God. My good is my joy. My joy is my good. All the joy there is belongs to me. My good is my joy. My joy is my good. All the joy I seek belongs to me. That's my truth with a capital T. It's all about living free. My good is my God. My good is my God. I have all I ever need. My good is my God. My good is my love. My love is my good. All the love there is belongs to me. My good is my love. My love is my good. All the love I seek belongs to me. That's my truth with a capital T. It's all about living free. My good is my God. My good is my God. I have all I ever need. My good is my God. My good is my God. My good is my God. My good is my God.
Thank you so much, Mr. Christopher Fritchie and our wonderful band. Let's give them a little bit more love, shall we? All right. Well, good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in Santa Rosa. I am Reverend Russ Laguerre. I am your spiritual flight director for the day, and I'm so glad to be with you. And if you are joining us for the first time or the first time in a long time, we especially want to welcome you. And thank you also to our wonderful live stream viewers. Did you know we have live stream viewers from all around the world, not just around the country, but around the world. So our reach is truly expansive here, and that's really, really inspiring. So thank you, live streamers, for being with us. And know that no matter how you are interacting with the center, you can find out what's going on here at our website, www.cslsr.org. And thank you so much for honoring our safety requirements. It's because of you that we're able to have our in-person 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. services, and we're so grateful for your patience and cooperation as we do all the work that we can to make sure it's as safe as possible to be here in person. So thank you. Now, at the Center for Spiritual Living Santa Rosa, we are motivated by a vision of a healthy, loving world. It is known as the Global Vision, and it calls us to imagine a world that works for everyone. We see a world in which every person lives in alignment with their highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with the divine and connection with one another. It's a world in which individually and collectively we are called to a higher state of consciousness in action. And we follow this vision through our 5 core spiritual practices here at the center. And the first is spiritual study, which enhances our understanding through reading, learning, investigation, and honest self-reflection. We practice affirmative prayer, and we'll hear a wonderful example from practitioner Lawrence Edwards in just a moment. And that's where we use the power of our word and our consciousness to creatively connect with that divine presence. We meditate in all of its forms, which increases our awareness and experience of that divine presence through contemplation, concentration, focus, and those 3 things. I know I'm looking here. I modified this little script here, so the words are all in different places, and that's my deal. I know, right? I need a little bit more meditation on the script, I think, you know? All right, yeah. Well, yeah, coffee too, right? Selfless service. Let's move on, shall we? Which is the spiritual practice of serving others without expectation of reward or of a specific result. And I want to take this moment to give a shout out to all of our wonderful volunteers who are not just here every Sunday, but throughout the week, weeding and cleaning and being greeters and carrying baskets. It's just amazing, all of the hearts and hands that say yes to this place. So thank you to all of our volunteers. And finally, spiritual circulation, which opens us up to our community and the flow of that community and the life that flows through our community through balanced giving, receiving, asking, forgiving, and gratitude. And speaking of spiritual circulation, did you know that there are several ways that you can contribute your financial support to the center? You can give online on our website, you can send us a check, and we have this newfangled thing called text to donate, where you can send a text message to that phone number, 707-675-2399, with your dollar amount. And if it's the first time that you're setting it up, it'll give you a little web link that you can click on to enter your payment information. And then every subsequent text that you send with your dollar amount, it will automatically deduct it for you, and it takes 5 seconds. It's super fast. It's very convenient. So we're really excited to offer that. And then finally, for everybody who's here in person today, we will have baskets at all of the exits on your way out. So however you choose to give, please know that because we are entirely supported by your gifts, we are so grateful for you. Whether it's your financial gift or your gift of time or even just the consciousness that you share by being here, we are so grateful to have you. So thank you. Now, I know that somewhere between the music, the meditation, the prayer practices, and Dr. Edwards' message today is exactly what you need to experience for the next step in your spiritual unfoldment. Please know that you are so welcome here. And now, please join me in a short time of silent contemplation before our prayer.
It is in this beauty. It is in this sweetness. It is in this quietness that I recognize, turn my attention, my focus to that which is in the back of all life. That one infinite intelligence, that one love, that one power, that one divine source. It is everywhere we are, continuously in its presence. It is that which gives me life. It is my life. For I am a individualization of this life. And as that is true for me, that is true for each beautiful, precious soul in life for us here. That we are that exquisite emanation of the Most High. And so I speak my word today for our time together, and that would be a word of freedom, of liberation, of tenderness, of openness, a willingness to let go, to release, to be at peace in this life. I truly am grateful and thankful for this opportunity, for this time, for just this experience. And I release this word into that which always says yes. And I let it be. And so it is. Good morning. I guess I better put this up here. My name is Lawrence Edwards. I'm a prayer practitioner here at the center. And please join me in reading our affirmation for today. I forgive and I am free. Thank you.
Hey, Lawrence, your mask is on. Forgiveness sets me free. Forgiveness starts with me. Wherever I go, whatever I know, forgiveness sets me free. I forgive someone right now. I may not know just how to begin to let go, so I let love show me I forgive someone right now. Let's forgive the world today. As we forgive the world, we say it opens our hearts, it works from the start. Let's forgive the world today. Forgiveness is the love that I send. Forgiveness leaves me nothing to defend. Forgiveness always gets me to the end of what I thought I knew to be true. What brings me pain may not be true. and it may not be you. I forgive myself inside. I know that love will guide me, for no matter the sin, there's a place to begin. I forgive myself within, and so I begin to let love in right now.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Christopher Fritchie. I never get tired of hearing that song. It's so inspiring. Thank you so much. Hello. You know, I realize I'm sitting there looking at my phone, and you must be wondering what I'm doing, playing bubble games. No, I'm saying hello to all of our online viewers. There's Bobby Joe Valentine, Hanya Popova Parker, Karen Norton, and Martha McCabe, and all of the people of our community who are still watching from home. So that's what we're doing, and the people in the booth, we're chatting using Slack, making sure everything is in its place. Oh, technology is so wonderful. Because some of our community is not ready to come in person yet. And some have relocated, and we can still stay connected. I was reading online, one church advisor, spiritual community advisor said, cut off online. You got to get the people to come back. I said, oh no. No. We want to be inclusive and welcoming, and if somebody wants to sit at home and be part of the community, they can do that. And if you are sitting at home and you're missing the community and thinking, is it safe to come back yet? Well, let me tell you. We're still practicing safety protocols here, and there are plenty of seats far away from everybody else and huge, high ceilings. So let me just tell you, I predict your future. Something is calling you, because you know we do love to be together. So think about it. You can come and check it out. You can come to an in-person service and sit way in the back and far away from people. There's my back-seated people back there, yes. Or you can continue to watch online. We'll take you whatever way you want to show up. And that relates to the practice of forgiveness too. Just show up as you are. There is space and there's room for you. And hello, online viewers. You can come in your pajamas. Yes, you can. I think so. That's fair enough. And we do love to hear where you're watching from if you are watching online. So please type that in the chat box or send us a message. This morning, our topic is Forgive to Live, and that's why that opening song is so appropriate and beautiful. And I wanted to show where forgiveness fits into those spiritual practices that Reverend Russ mentioned this morning. So if you brought your journal along, thank you, 6 people. It's getting better. I'm just messing with you. You don't need to bring the journal along because these videos are available after the service immediately, and you can always catch up. On the back of the journal is the logo of our movement, Centers for Spiritual Living. And if you don't have your journal, we can display it on the screen right now so the people at home can see it as well. You see there, Center for Spiritual Living, and then each center has its designation where it's located. Now I want to draw your attention to the starburst symbol right there. It's got 5 sets of rays, and I use that. I don't know if it was intended that way. I use that to remind me of those 5 spiritual pillars that Reverend Russ talked about. And they are meditation. Now you'll see each ray has got several beams coming out to remind me that in the category of meditation, there are all different kinds of meditation. There's walking meditation. There's more receptive meditation. There's more active meditation. There's meditation where you are counting your breath. There's all kinds of meditation. There's contemplation. There's meditation where you think about a spiritual passage, and so on. In the array of prayer, there is affirmative prayer, there's personal devotional prayer, there's spiritual mind treatment, there's repeated affirmation. In the category of spiritual study, there's self-directed study, there's study in a group, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about how you can self-direct your study too. You don't have to enroll in a class, although in a class you have community, but there is also a benefit from self-directed spiritual study. Then there is selfless service, and you heard us refer to all the people who are helping out. Well, it's not just to get a job done, it's also to develop a deep connection to the world by helping in all the different ways. So there are all the beams. You can donate your time in an area that you're skilled in, but maybe you don't want to do that. Like maybe you want to do something that's completely different to your skill set. Maybe you want to sweep floors, because it gives you a sense of connection. So each one of the rays has got multiple different practices built into it. Then there is the one on the left, circulation. And inside of circulation, we have all of the spiritual practices that keep us in the flow of life. Now, the word circulation is a beautiful word, going around, and it makes me think of the body system and our circulatory system that carries oxygen and nutrients and hormones, and it also removes waste. It does all the things that keep us alive, gets rid of the carbon dioxide, and it keeps the blood moving from our heart and back, and it's going on. It's got to keep going, right? Because you know what happens if it doesn't. Yeah, things come to an end, because if it doesn't keep flowing, well, think of a body of water. Without movement, stagnation sets in. When water stands still, it goes bad. Circulate keeps it fresh. The Dead Sea, I love that image. It's dead because it only has inlets, no outlets. So there's no circulation. Something is interrupted. So the spiritual practices that fit into the ray called circulation are all of those practices that keep things moving, such as giving, and the other part of it, receiving, such as asking to allow things to come in, such as appreciation and giving thanks and acknowledging. And in this category is also forgiving. Forgiving is part of the circulation part of our spiritual practice. And so I'm going to invite you to explore this circulation a little bit with some questions. And you can write these down or just think about them. And they go like something like this. What happens in my life when I don't give compared to when I do give? So you're just becoming an observer of your process, that's all. Self-study. What happens when I don't allow myself to receive compared to when I am open to receiving, when I allow people to give to me? And what happens in my life when I don't let myself ask? Or when my asking is not that skilled? Do you know what I mean by that? When I ask in a way that doesn't get me what I want. Oh, my godmother, God bless her. I miss her so much. I love her. She passed on, but she also used to crack me up because she would ask in a way that made me want to not give her. Do you know what I'm talking about? And I loved her. I adored her, but she would ask in a way that was so manipulative that it was like a demand. It wasn't an ask. And so we would fight that out, But anyway, there was some humor in it, there was so much love. So look at that. What happens in my life when I don't thank, when I don't appreciate, when I don't acknowledge, compared to when I do? So now I can just observe this, the breathing in and out of the spiritual system. And then I can also even explore, as I look at this, what blocks do I have when it comes to all of these things like giving? What gets in the way? You can probably identify them like that, right? Has to do with control and freedom and manipulation. What blocks do I have around receiving? What does it mean to me? What blocks do I have around asking and thanking? And which ones am I good at? Which ones do I deflect? Which ones do I avoid? And what's underneath it all? So you see, you can do a lot of self-study, excavating what's going on in the spiritual circulation system for you. Because the same set of questions and exploration applies to forgiveness. Same. So I can begin to bring awareness to the same sort of questions. What happens in my life when I don't forgive? What happens in my life when I don't forgive compared to when I do? So now it's important, this is not a right-wrong kind of exploration. It's just about awareness. I'm just observing. See if I can identify some of the blocks that I experience around forgiveness. And then I might even ask myself, why? Now, why does forgiveness show up in the circulation group of practices? Why is it there? And clearly the answer is because it's connected to the flow of life, of spiritual well-being, and without it, stagnation sets in. That's why. Okay, now, this is one of those spiritual practices, forgiveness, one of those tools we can say that really needs a warning label. It should say, be aware that this is an advanced level skill. I was trying to think of an image to illustrate that, and I thought, well, it would be like, picking somebody who has absolutely no musical training or skills, yet, and saying, I don't know if Brenda has any musical skills. But I could say, oh, by the way, or she says, no, okay, perfect. Say, Brenda, oh, by the way, you're responsible for the music next Sunday. Here's the piano, there's the guitar, and there's a bunch of things there. We'll see you next week. It's not going to go well. She could become anxious. It would be more appropriate to provide some training and some care first before expecting a concert. Forgiveness work is a little bit like that. And it becomes super important to be mindful and careful and compassionate with each other and ourselves when we are doing forgiveness work, especially when we are having difficulty forgiving. Or we don't know how to get through it or what to do. Or it's not working, it's not flowing. And we think we're doing the work and it's not doing what it's supposed to do. Or we get to a point where we can't forgive at all. So we have to do a lot of breathing and accepting and welcoming and say, show up exactly as you are, wherever you are on the journey, that's the correct place. Now, on our website for our center, there's a whole library of videos, resources for self-study, and you can go through them and see there are dozens of videos over the years and years and years that have to do specifically with forgiveness. October 25th, 2020, Reverend Russ Legier's message on forgiveness. Earlier on, 2014, there's a message by me about the obstacles we encounter as we're on the journey of forgiveness. And then there's a brilliant message by Dr. Jim Lockhart. The title is, I Will Forgive When I'm Good and Ready. And dozens more videos about what forgiveness is, what forgiveness isn't, how to do it, why we seem to feel this need to have it, why it can be hard to do, and when it's appropriate to not forgive. Who'd have thought? Right? And I mention this because there is no way for me or any other speaker to give a complete message about forgiveness in 20 minutes. So if forgiveness is up for you, it's a journey. And go gently. And go slowly. And today I'm just going to speak about one aspect of forgiveness. I'm going to talk about forgiving ourselves. I can hear the groaning. Yeah, forgiving ourselves, because there can be some obstacles in that, I'm going to just offer to you some ideas that have helped me, and with the hope, with the trust that some of it might be helpful to you. So my first piece of advice to myself is, don't do it alone. Get help. It's really difficult to untangle self-resentment all by yourself because we can be our own worst critics, right? Is it what Sally Kempton who said it's difficult to fight an enemy that has outposts in your own head? That's the idea. So if you notice there is some self-unforgiveness in you, you might want to invest in some help, professional help. Because yes, self-forgiveness can be quite difficult to do by yourself. And look, I don't try to fix dental work by myself. It's not my skill set. I don't even try to cut my own hair, except the one time I did. I thought, how hard can this be? Pandemic will do that for you, right? So, equipped with YouTube videos, my new clippers, I set out to cut my hair. And the end result was there were all these patches of hair in the back of my head, because I couldn't see what I was doing. I couldn't see the end result. And that's kind of what doing my own self-forgiveness work is like. Quite likely there is stuff I can't see that everybody else can see clear as crystal. Yeah. So a professional can assist me in seeing it, can help me see what needs to be identified and replaced so that whatever it is that is blocking my ability to forgive myself can be dealt with so that I can live. So there's all kinds of help. We have our licensed prayer practitioners. There's a directory on our website where you can look at their bios. And of course, work with a therapist is some of the best money I've ever spent. And to me, working with someone, well, it's like a confession. It's like coming clean about what's going on inside of me in the presence of another person. So it does need to be safe. It does need to be intentional. It's not the sort of thing you just unpack on your best friend. You right? Oh, but the power of having an honest and gentle look at myself in the presence of another person can be very healing. And the safer the space, the more easily it comes out. A big part of self-forgiveness for me is seeing and accepting, yes, I did that, and I shouldn't have. Or, yes, I didn't do that, and I should have. We don't use the word should too much, but it's right there. To own it and to admit it is a powerful place to start. And that goes along with acknowledging my feelings that are related to that moment of identification. Acknowledge the feelings related to the situation and actually feel them. Just feel them. Because until I feel them, It's very difficult to move through them. Cleaning my fridge yesterday. Don't judge me. All right, go ahead, judge me. But there are all kinds of leftovers in there that have truly been left over. Neglected. Rotten. Just like unfelt feelings. Accumulated, hidden in the back where I think I can just ignore them. So as I was cleaning them out, I thought, I know what that's about. When I hide away or avoid feelings, it's just so much healthier to identify them, feel them, and move. And then, of course, to follow up with a practice that lets me soften my mental and emotional grip on the past. So, and another important part of self-forgiveness for me is learning how to apologize. So, to apologize if my actions caused harm to someone or to myself. And if I'm unable to apologize to another person, here's something that really helps: to write down what I would have said had I had the opportunity. Or writing an apology to myself. That can be very helpful. And I've learned, for me, for an apology to be real, it has to be sincere. And I've learned there's some key elements. I've got to admit to the wrongdoing and the impact it had on the person or myself. Could be me. And I've got to express regret for it. And then I've got to describe what I plan to do differently. Make amends, reparation, make it right, or as Reverend Russ calls it, clean up. So how can we tell if self-forgiveness is an issue or concern? Well, this is not a precise list, and these could be signs. You know, don't take it as law. These are just exploration questions or ideas. So here are some signs. Sometimes the ability to like oneself gets weaker and weaker and weaker. Sometimes people punish themselves by not taking care of themselves, or they develop self-destructive habits. Sometimes people get stuck in mental loops where they think about the same thing over and over again, or recall the past over and over again. Sometimes people get into the habit of dismissing or deflecting comments, not taking opportunities when presented, not receiving praise because they've got running under the surface, if only you knew. And sometimes unforgiveness shows up as a tendency to be resistant to doing things that will increase my energy, release my creativity, improve my health, raise my self-esteem and engagement. So like I said, it's not a complete list, it's just something to think about. The one that shows up for me is that loop thinking, going back to the wrongdoing over and over and over again. So what can you and I do when thoughts get stuck on the mistake? Well, it's going to be different for everyone, but here's what helped me in addition to getting professional help. When a thought or a memory of a past mistake comes up, I pause in whatever I'm doing. And if I can do this out loud, it's better, but if I'm in public, I'll say it quietly. I just say to myself, I acknowledge that I did that, and I accept my part in it. And then, and sometimes I have to close my eyes, I notice what feeling comes up. And if I have my journal, if I have a pen, I write that feeling down. I feel ashamed. Or I feel sad. Or I write it down. It's the confessional. It's a formula that works for me. Acknowledge, feel it, and then the next part is soften. And to me, soften means I got to be ready to follow up with something specific, a practice. And that might be something like repeating a mantra or a phrase that is powerful or useful, or carry around a prayer with. You know what worked for me was I had in my memory, and at first I carried it around because when I was very emotional, I couldn't remember the words. The prayer that is associated with St. Francis. I would take it out and I would read it. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, and it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. That worked for me. It was like something that was sewing back the integrity of my soul. And then a practice that I find very effective in self-healing around unforgiveness is to redirect some of my attention to others. To be not 100% self-absorbed. Because the fact of the matter is, everywhere around me, and I believe this may be true for you, everywhere around me there are people who are struggling just to make it through another day. Everywhere. So instead of giving 100% of my attention to myself, I give some of my precious attention to others to include them in this practice of softening. And for me, I do it in a very specific way, and you're going to find your own way. You can turn it into a personal ritual for yourself. And, for example, you might, at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day, light a candle. And think of someone in your life, in your world, and just say silently something like, I love you, and I bless you, and I set you free to your highest good. And the redirecting of our attention to other people, well, there aren't any other people, right? What you do on behalf of other people is of benefit to you too. And sometimes it's easier for us to love other people than it is for us to love ourselves. And love is love. So wherever you do it, it's doing its work. For me, the meditation I liked was the very well-known one, may you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. So I invite you now with me to take a moment to breathe in. And as you exhale, let your attention be redirected away from self to the self of God that is in someone in your life that might benefit from your loving attention right now. Just bringing their awareness, their image into your awareness. As if you're sitting with them having coffee. Perhaps you can even see their image, or maybe you feel it more than see it, or you're just listening to this as a story, but you know who it is you're talking about, thinking about. And as if there is a message from your heart to theirs, these words carry your love. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. And let the next breath you take be deeper than the one before. And staying connected in your thought and heart to that feeling of love, as if it's radiating around you. Let it be carried with you through the rest of the day and the week. And may you be filled with loving kindness too. As we breathe together, we make a transition to the part of our service where we acknowledge and appreciate our center. Again, the spiritual practice of circulation. Think with me of some way in which you have supported, given to the center, maybe by showing up at a service, maybe by saying a prayer on behalf of the community, maybe by contributing your funds to help us sustain the building, maybe by volunteering, who knows, and then placing your hand on your chest as a symbol of your heart connection. Think with me in the moment where you are on the receiving end, where the center, the idea of the center community benefited your life some way, opened up your heart, and inspired you. And so it is. And now Reverend Russ has some announcements for us. Welcome back, Reverend Russ.
Thank you, Dr. Edward. What a wonderful message. All right, well, let's get some announcements out of the way. This Thursday, February 24th at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time is our monthly Board of Trustees meeting. So if you haven't attended our Board of Trustees meeting public session, it's a really wonderful way to get connected to all of the business and the creation that goes on here at the center. It's really inspiring to be there. So I hope that you will join us. You can join no matter where you're at on the Zoom public session by clicking on the photo of the people with their thumbs up on the website. And did you know that we have a discussion group centered around our monthly global theme every Sunday night? We do. It's our Sunday evening conversations group, and it's a wonderful way for you to take what's going on with our inner life conversation and all of the global themes and go a little bit deeper. So you can join each Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific time by clicking on the photo of the bird in a sunset on our website. Also, speaking of spiritual practices, our center has many meditation offerings throughout the week to help you stay plugged into spirit. You can check out our daily Generating Love meditation every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And we also have our Inviting the Sacred meditation every Wednesday at 6 p.m. And finally, we have a Saturday morning meditation at 10 a.m. So can you imagine how enlightened you would be if you went to every single one of those meditations? I mean, this place, you'd all be glowing. It would be awesome. So those are all on Zoom. So live streamers, you can also check that out as well. It doesn't matter where you're at. And you can find the Zoom links for them all on the events portion of our website. And now we have a very special invitation to our upcoming spiritual renewal from Board President Nancy Reynolds. So thank you for being here and have a wonderful week.
There's something coming up at the center, and it doesn't happen that often, so I want to make sure that you know about it. Now, you may know that our prayer practitioners offer confidential prayer after every service on every Sunday. But what you might not know is they are also trained and experienced in providing, wise counsel in the form of spiritual coaching. And they're going to be offering that to our community coming up in March. It's called the Winter Spiritual Renewal, and it allows you to have a session all to yourself, a full complimentary session with one of our prayer practitioners. I've been really fortunate. I've been able to take advantage of this a couple times. The first time I was going through some changes, and I had way too many possibilities to choose from, and the practitioner did a visioning session that helped me pull in what spirit would want for me. The second time, I was doing a lot of elder care for my beautiful, lovely dad, but I wasn't taking that great a care of myself. And sitting with the practitioner, she was able to hear what was going on with me and to remind me how to care for myself. These sessions were absolutely invaluable to me, and I am really excited that you'll have an opportunity to take advantage. It's Saturday, March 5th. There are 3 time slots, 1, 2, and 3 p.m., but you have to sign up for it because there are limited spots. You can sign up for it by going to our website, cslsr.org, the Winter Spiritual Renewal. I hope they'll see you there.
Wonderful. That's President Nancy inviting you to sign up and get a complimentary spring renewal session with a licensed prayer practitioner. And also, she mentioned the after-service prayer. So if something is incomplete in you, you know that after every service, there is an opportunity for you to, in a Zoom room, have a personal private prayer session with a practitioner. It's not the full-on session like she just described, but it's more like a 2-minute miracle, should we call it that? So thank you for being here today. I appreciate it very much. I look forward to seeing you again soon. And it's time for us to close our service. So won't you know with me that you are never alone, that Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you're guided, sustained, and empowered by a presence that expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly so that in everything that we do and say and think, we pay tribute to this presence within. And so it is. Please enjoy the closing music.
So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are